Hello, friends. This is Chandrakant, and today we have a very distinguished guest joining us. She is a leader. She has spent almost 2 decades in industries. She has lived across multiple countries, and she heads a very enterprising organization called Career Zoom. And in this particular section of our show, we will actually ask a question from a leader, and these questions that we receive on daily basis by different people, different budding entrepreneurs. And today's question is how to become a successful entrepreneur. So the guest is Farida Charania. She is joining us from Singapore. Without further ado, let me welcome her to the show.
Thank you, CK. Pleasure to be back on your channel. I hope everyone is keeping well and a very, very good day to you wherever you are in the world. My name is Farida, as CK introduced me, and I am the founder and CEO of Career Zoom, which is basically a CXO on demand consulting organization. Thank you, CK. I think it's an excellent question and it's a very difficult answer because there is no one size fits all approach here. Talking about how to be a successful entrepreneur, uh, different people have different things which make them successful. Um, if I kind of, even run a Google search, there are like, 50 things that come up on page one. And all of them are important traits. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share my journey and things that have helped me stay on the path. There will be times when you are not finding the success the way you anticipated, but then as an entrepreneur, it's important to move on and look at things which will help you get to where you want to get to. So, let me share a little bit about my background. So, I am an economist by training, a banker by profession, and perhaps today an entrepreneur by passion. Career Zoom is my fourth venture, and over the last decade, I have founded, run, and exited three other organizations. Um, I've lived in different countries. I grew up in India. I have worked in India, Singapore, London, UAE, Finland, France, Hong Kong, Malaysia, and I've lived in these countries. And all of this experience has actually made me what I am today because, in fact, I forgot to say, I started my career in Tokyo with Nomura. So I have lived in very difficult parts of the world where I spoke not a single letter of that language. Um, and after, achieving a considerable success in my banking career at the age of 27, yeah, I decided I wanted to do something else. And that's how I set up my first venture, which is called the Sky Touch. Now, the thing is, success comes to different people in different forms, and that's how it happened to me as well. Yeah. The thing is that what kept me going, so there are times when I actually, met with disappointment. There are times when, also, did not achieve the success that I was actually looking for. But what kept me going is the belief that I will get there someday. Therefore, as an entrepreneur, I think the thing that has helped me the most is the belief that I will get there. Yeah. And I think that's basically the most important thing for any entrepreneur. The belief, of course, is important, but it's also important to be pragmatic. That if you're making losses after losses, then you need to kind of understand when to cut the cord and actually, move on to something else. But that finesse comes after a while. You won't have it on day one. Also, as an entrepreneur, what probably has been, the most successful thing for me is that I had the opportunity to do a hard reset. When things were not really going well, that was another pragmatic approach that as an entrepreneur, don't get very attached to your products. Don't get very attached to, what you are doing because that attachment, the emotional attachment, might actually lead you to do things which are not really in your favor. So I made that mistake, and I'm kind of sharing this with the audience that don't get too attached. If something is not working, evaluate it, go back and see it's not working. So are you good with investing time to figure out why it's not working? Or are you good with, just kind of doing a hard reset, going back to ground zero and seeing what else you could do? So these are a few learnings which I love to share, and I always say to people who ask me that what kept you going. So my belief in the fact that I will be successful, and the ability to which I kind of developed over a period of time, is to kind of take a step back and see whether the direction is right or not. Yeah.
I think this is fantastic, Farida. In fact, your journey is quite inspiring because at very young age you are able to get out of the corporate life and do something on your own, which is quite amazing. However, I think there are many people in this race, and they have a spark, they have an idea, and they just want to go, implement that. And as you said earlier, that it is basically based on the people having a product in mind, and they get too attached to the product, and they keep saying, I've heard this statement many times, that, "Hey, it's my baby," so what I'm doing is I'm bringing up a child when I'm starting my company. So that is why there are a lot of failures also. Almost like 90% of the startups fail. They're like coffee shops, 90% of the coffee shop closed down in the first year. It's similar to that. So the question really is that, what are the what should be the objective of entrepreneur to continue the journey, and what if not the product, what they should be aiming for? I think that is something that our audience would like to know from you.
Certainly. So there are a few things that probably have helped me, because when I exited my first venture and I started my second venture, by then I had learned that you need to define timelines in terms of your risk tolerance. What is your ability to tolerate the risk, and in terms of monetarily, what is it that you are prepared to put in, because that should be basically the defining factor. Now if you actually kind of look at, so the way that I went into my second venture is that this is the money that I need for the next 2 years, okay, to basically run my life, not my business. If I don't have to touch anything, do I have the money for the next 2 years? No, I didn't have the money for the next 2 years. Okay, so let me bring that timeline down and see how much money do I have. I had money exactly for 5 months. So I had to manage my risk within those 5 months. Yeah. So for me, that worked, because for me, it was very clear that this is my business idea. This is the time that I need to, So there are, of course, you will not see all the success in 5 months. It's a short timeline, but it will give you an idea, the direction that you are going in, whether the direction is right or not. Because, suppose if you are selling a service, so you have a funnel already. You should develop that funnel within the first month and a half, because if you don't have that funnel within the first month and a half, or maximum 2 months, it's very unlikely that you will be able to actually commercialize any of that within the next 6 months. So it's important to have that funnel. If you have a product that you are building, then you need to be conscious of the fact that if you are not capitally heavily backed, it is going to be a very tough journey for the first 3 or 4 years till the product is completely ready to be commercialized. If you are depending on, say, grants, raising money, etc., remember all of them need a MVP, minimum viable product, to be able to look at your idea and see if they want to invest. So be prepared for that. If you get into business not prepared, if you get into a journey without being prepared for that timeline, you're going to be disappointed, because if you have decided that there is a certain money that's needed to run the business and certain money needed to run your life, it's important to bifurcate that and keep those accounts separate. Lot of young entrepreneurs like myself make the mistake of taking money from here and putting it there and vice versa. It's not advisable. It's not ideal, it's not advisable. So I think the first step is to make sure that you have bifurcated those finances. And the second step is to make sure you stick with the discipline. If you have to keep going, there should be something that tells you that, okay, and not a gut feel, but actual data that tells you that you are going to commercialize this much in this much time. Because if you don't have that, there is no point in moving forward because it's clearly not worked for the first 6 months. It's very unlikely that things will change very quickly.
I think this is a amazing tip, and you are now changing the focus from a product-based startup to actually revenue-based startup, and you're actually telling the audience that hey, don't look at the product, look at the revenue, look at the cash flow. So, what is the best time to start promoting? You mentioned few very important words, things like you should have a plan, you should have exit policy, but the whole idea is that if there is no feedback, and you had 6 months and there is no feedback, the time is too short to decide anything. So what is a good time to start getting that feedback?
So there are a couple of things here. One, so it depends what is your startup. If it's going to take some time to build the product, then you have to factor that in. But let's assume for, you know, just for the sake of this discussion, that it's a service-based startup. Suppose you're providing a certain service, okay? There is no good or bad time to seek feedback. There is no bad time to evaluate your positioning in the market and understand your market value. In fact, I would start doing it even before I get invested in that idea. Even before I kind of go into that idea head down and put everything that I have into it, I would evaluate with people who are able to give me feedback whether that's something that they would buy or not. The best thing to do is pick up a focus group of people and pick up people who are not going to tell you things because you like to hear them. Pick up people who are going to be very honest with you, because if something is nonsense they need to tell you and you need to tweak your approach. So I think 6 months is a short timeline for a product development kind of a business, but for a service business that's a perfectly good timeline. You know within the first couple of months whether you're going in the right direction or not, because when you actually start a business you define your unique selling proposition, and your unique selling proposition is basically what is it that you are doing, what is the problem it is solving, and who are the people who are going to buy it, and who are the people who have already bought it. So the bought it part comes a bit later, but the first three are essential on day one when you start the business.
I think the question was very simple: what it takes to become an entrepreneur, a successful one, a viable one, and I think you have beautifully answered these things. So I think the learning for today for our viewers is, don't uh, you know start bringing a child, and when you start a company, don't get attached to the product or the line of service. Keep your eye or your finger on the revenue, and you should also know from where this revenue is coming. So I think these are the two major factors that every entrepreneur must have before they start investing their money in a company. So I think that is the learning for today from our expert, from a very senior colleague, industry colleague, Farida. Thank you so much for giving us all this information, and next time I will meet you with another interesting question, Farida. Thank you so much for joining us today, and have a good day. And by the way, it's your birthday, so please enjoy yourself.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Farida, I will catch up with you next time. Until then, I like to say goodbye for today.
Thank you. Bye for now. Everyone have a fantastic day ahead and wish you and your families very, very well. If you have questions for us, drop us an email. Our coordinates are when you kind of finish this segment. Let us know. We'll try our best to answer your questions. Thank you and bye for now.